Hey everyone, this is Mrs. Martin, and I wanted to give you some source tips for the Kite Runner. Mrs. Duran and I have been working on this project for a while, so we have a lot of great sources that we've already found and vetted for you, and they are all in this Pathfinder, which you will have access to. These sources can also be accessed from off campus, so there's passwords for that. So I just wanted to remind you of the source rubric that you all are following. So everything on the Pathfinder is either a 3, 4, or 5 source. So we have Encyclopedia Britannica, which has a lot of general information about the country. So if you're doing government, education, history, things like that, you can find that in Britannica. We have a lot of websites on the Pathfinder. Some examples are PhotoStories. Some are about specific topics. So those are usually from journalist websites, news organizations, or organizations that are nonprofits going into Afghanistan trying to provide assistance. So they're doing their best to collect data. The weird thing about Afghanistan is I feel like depending on what history you're covering, things have changed so much. So in the 90s, you had the Taliban ruling, so education was completely different then than it might have been in, let's say, 2015. Then the Taliban came back into power in 2021, so things have also changed once again. So dates are going to be really critical for this project. So lastly, we have a couple databases for you to access that would give you that 5 out of 5 point score. We have the Gale World History Database, and then we have something called Culturegrams, which is like Britannica in the sense that it gives you information all about the different subjects you're studying, government, education, all those things I mentioned. So there are a table of contents in a lot of these sources so that you can jump to your section. Okay, let's get to some examples. So I know you've used Gale before, but I just want to remind you that you are not typing in questions. What is education like in Afghanistan? You are simply typing in 2 to 3 words to get the best results. So I am going to try Afghan Americans. That's one of the examples. So remember, your results are up here. Some are going to be more useful than others for this project. So I always like to have students start with reference. This reference one, though, looks like it's discussing history rather than the current situation with Afghan Americans that I'm looking for. So it's trial and error, so I'm not going to use that. The next best option that I have would probably be these magazine and news sources. Sometimes there'll be a link for images, so definitely check that out to get some images for this project. All right. So let's go down. Okay. Again, I'm looking for dates. So I've got a 2023 article, Banned at Home, Afghan Music is Thriving. This one on Afghan American relations, that's 2012, and it's also probably more about the government. So I think the best one so far would be that Band at Home, the music one, but then I see more in the news section. This is 2022, Afghan American elected to California State Senate. So definitely pay attention to the dates before you just click the first option available. Just want to remind you, since you're using Noodle Tools, that you do not have to type in any boxes for Noodle Tools if you're using Gale. Please remember this. It will save you minutes of your time. You click Noodle Tools, then it will ask you, I'm not signed in, but it will ask you what project down here, and you will select the Kite Runner PhotoStory project, and within 30 seconds, you have saved your citation. So really a great resource. Okay, with the Pathfinder, I have some specific links for those of you doing the Hazara and Pashtun. I wanted to make sure you had easy access to those. But pretty much most of the topics can be found in Gale, so I would definitely start there. Let's go to Britannica next. Oh, sorry. Let's stick with databases. Let's go to culturegrams. Okay, so I'm going to search for Afghanistan. I'm going to click World Edition. So there is this great table of contents here. So here's my history group. Some of these don't necessarily say like daily life, but general attitudes, personal appearance, greetings, gestures, visiting, that's all their daily customs, so that can work. Housing, lifestyle, diet, recreation. I mean, you can figure out which ones will relate best to your topic. So it's a huge list. So we're going to try, let's try the history one since so many of you are doing history. Okay, so we've got it broken down, and you will just find what time period you need. It may not specifically state your group of years you're studying, but just sort of skim to find the dates. There might be a small paragraph, there might be several paragraphs. That's why you're using a variety of sources. So gather what you can from these databases, and then definitely check the Pathfinder for other good sources. So they don't necessarily say, okay, so it does say 2021. I had a feeling that that time period was going to be here. Struggle for stability and security since the Taliban took over again in 2021. So they briefly discuss that. But if you're doing more recent years or want more information for more recent years, again, consult additional sources. So I wanted to go back to that homepage for Afghanistan. I saw this interview section, and there's just a few different age groups, but if you're doing children, for example, definitely click on the right age group. It's nice because they ask questions that relate to things you guys are trying to learn more about. So typical day, for example, what their favorite things are, what school's like. So this is a wonderful resource in all different age groups, the younger groups. All right. I forgot to show you guys that Culturegrams also has a citation. It's up here. It says generate citation. You're going to click MLA 9 and you're going to copy this citation, and then in Noodle Tools you are going to click the quick cite button and paste this into the annotation box. So that is a way to get the pre-made citation into Noodle Tools. I did see on that main Afghan page this photo gallery. So there are quite a bit in Culturegrams, and they're all different subjects. So see what is available for what you are discussing in your PhotoStory. I like how there's usually a caption. So this is lockable, so might look a little different in other cities, so it's nice that they told you where it's coming from. And then there is a citation for the photo here. So lots of things you can gather from the databases, information, and photos. Britannica has the same thing. Let's go to this encyclopedia. I'm going to go really basic. I'm just going to do Afghanistan, because within the Afghanistan article, I can find the sections I'm looking for. There's a table of contents here, and it allows me to jump to the different sections. I liked this pie chart, but I did see it was a little old, from 2004. So again, dates are so critical. It's useful, but probably a little outdated. Okay, so the sections are here. I didn't find one for education, so I'm just going to search that. There it is. So it wasn't in the table of contents, but it is listed. So you can find a lot that you need. Just search in different ways until you get there. With Britannica, this check mark is their citation. Same thing. There's no Noodle Tools export button, but there is a pre-made citation that you can copy into Noodle Tools. All right. A lot of great websites. Some are more specific. So we've got the CIA. They have pretty current information on all different countries. So check out their fact book. Got PBS, BBC. I tried to include a lot of different topics that have been on the assignment over the years. So definitely, use some that I found to save yourself some time. And then, of course, you can do your own kind of search. You can even find some photos down here. I like that these news organizations have put together some collections. This one's just Gen Z, for example. It is 2019, but it's pretty interesting because there's a large caption that goes along with it. It tells you the person's name, age, the date. So it's a really fun project. You guys are going to be creating something just like you're seeing here, a photo with a caption. And then you can even see the photographer's name and what news organization they're working for. So let's just try, I'm really curious, Gen Z Afghanistan. I would definitely, look at the collections that are already made from Reuters, a great news organization. Here we have NBC News. This one does focus on Afghan Americans, so be aware of that. And then same thing when you're doing an image search. Look at the sources. So you see Business Insider, Foreign Policy, The Guardian. These are all new news organizations I recognize. I would encourage you to do the same thing. Stay away from personal websites and blogs. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I hope that you utilize the Pathfinder, and please come talk to me in the library if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. Thanks.